You're listening to the Oddities podcast.
Welcome to the podcast. I just want to tell everyone we're doing the giveaway for the PlayStation 4 on February 13th. Come enter the drawing. It's at 4182 Cordata Parkway. Also, we're starting our treasure hunt, which we're going to reveal the goodies in the box today on the podcast. We're going to be starting that on Thursday. Follow us on Oddities PNW on the IG to find out all about that. And all the clues are going to be released on there every 48 hours. Woo-hoo! Now, I have a very special guest today. So this is my fault because typically we have a guest every Thursday. Mm-hmm. I'm always the one who reaches out and kind of schedules them. And I got so busy and I was like, literally, Monday rolled around. I'm like, all right, I got a couple days I got some people that I want to have on. I've been having a lot of real estate people on, inadvertently, an accident, a lot of realtors and then real estate photographers. And then it's turning into a real estate podcast. So there's some other people I want to come on who are also kind of in the real estate business. And I'm just kind of waiting to have them on. I have other people and I was like, then Tuesday and Wednesday rolled around and I was like, fuck, I need to get somebody because it's supposed to come out on Thursday. And here it is like Tuesday night. And I literally haven't DM'd anybody or talked to anyone. I was like, what about Sammy? And your last name is pronounced Wardle? Wardle. And so I reached out to my friend Sammy, who's been doing a lot of modeling for our IG, and here she is. Yay!
Hello!
Thank you, Sammy, for being here.
Thank you.
How was your day today?
It was great.
Now, you are a teacher, correct?
Paraeducator.
And describe what that is.
I'm kind of like a teacher, but I help in the classroom, like during recess, help in small groups with kids who are kind of like struggling maybe with English or math or any of those things and stuff, and just...
How long have you been doing that?
I think I've been doing it for about 5 years. I substituted there for about 2 years, and officially I've been working there for 3 years.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And what is the hardest or the most stressful or the most challenging part of your job, would you say?
I really like how everything is kind of flexible, you know, like if a kid's gone or something, they're just like, hey, go do your thing, like go figure it out and help another classroomer, like, ooh. So I'm like, I know I'm being recorded now. But the hardest thing is just like when kids have a bad day, it kind of affects you because they trust you and like kind of want to let you in on their life, and sometimes they overshare and you're just like, what do I do with this information? And
heavy stuff sometimes.
Yeah. And like you know that stuff is going on at home, but you never really realize it until someone says it and you're like, okay, oof.
And what do you do? Do you just keep it to yourself, or if there is some sort of thing going on, are you supposed to like report it or tell someone?
If it's really dark, I think you gotta say it, but then other things are just like, yeah, my parents are fighting, and you're just like, I'm sorry about that. There's no like really right answer, but like of course, you know, like confidentiality, and then just like reaching out to the counselor really.
So that weighs on you heavy.
Yeah, it kind of hurts because you really care for these kids, and you're like, wow, like I would not have expected that because they're just so funny and nice and stuff, and then you're like, oh, and
you want to like swoop in and save them, but you can't really do anything.
Adopt them all, just can't.
I was a big brother when I can't remember I think it was right after I graduated Western, or maybe when I was in Western, but I used to go up to Shuckson Middle School, and I worked with a 12-year-old boy whose parents were just either absent or they worked all the time. I'm not sure if the dad was in prison or not, but they just had a lot of kids and they paid no attention to him really. And as soon as I started, it's crazy how like just a little bit of attention you give to a kid can improve their quality of life or anything. Like he started showing up to school more often because he was just absent a lot, and his parents didn't do anything. He would just stay home. They wouldn't make him go. Like they just were very absent parents. But his grades started getting better. He started to show up to school more, and sometimes they just need an adult to talk to a lot of times, and just makes things better. So yeah, that's the biggest thing too. It's hard when you like see like, because you kind of know the potential way, the trend of how it can turn out if like a child is going through really hard stuff, because just growing up you usually have friends who come from, you know, homes that are a little troubled, and then you see how they turn out, or how, you know, they go down the wrong direction, and then it's just sad when you can get in there at an early age and like do something, but there's not much you can do.
Yeah.
So you started doing some modeling for us. lots of video, and we're doing a lot of photo shoots lately, which has been a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
A lot of fun. I've been playing with some edits. I'm going to show you after this. I really like to edit video. It's a lot of fun, and like put it to music and song. You've seen like little clips, but I have like full versions that I haven't shown you. We released it. Is that a word? We released it. We put up on our Instagram like a behind the scenes photo shoot we did of the first one with Zoe when we were doing like the perfume and cologne, which is really fun. But this last one that we just did with Paloma. Shout out to Paloma. We tried to get her on here today, but she couldn't make it. She had other plans and she really wanted to come. But she was the photographer who did it this last time when we were all together. So as a model, what you've been doing for how long now? How long have you been modeling?
I think it's been about 3 years, you know? It started out as just, like, people reaching out being like, hey, like, want to collaborate and stuff? And I was like, okay. Like, you know, you're kind of like, really? My face? Like, I guess so. But, like...
Who was the first one that reached out?
I think it was, his username was Brensley. I think it's changed now. To alien kid or child, but yeah. And I brought my friend Summer along, and like we both did it, and it was like such like an uplifting thing, you know. Like you go through high school and you're like, I'm so awkward and weird looking, like and then people are like, you kind of look cool, like I like your look, and you're like, ooh, really? And it just like grew my confidence over time, and like I got to the point where I love doing it, and I will spend time and make time for this, you know?
And that first one, was he just a photographer, wanted to kind of build up a portfolio? So you guys did a collab or was it for a business, or what was...
I think he was traveling from California. He's like, I'm going to be in Bellingham. Like, would you ever want to like collaborate? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Can I bring a friend? And I think it went from there. But usually I think it's definitely... photographers and models want it to be collaborative and they both benefit from it. So like
kind of like Model Mayhem. Are you on that site?
I am. I don't access it a lot because it's kind of, I felt like it was hard to get like gigs through it, but I know a few of my friends actually got like quite a few paid jobs through there. So like it's definitely valuable, but I feel like sometimes it's just like hard. Like if your community isn't on that website, then you're like, okay, I just wasted all this time making an account.
I had a friend who was a photographer, and that's how it's just like free collabs, because they're both trying to build up their portfolio and get their name and everything out there and recognition. So they, you know, photographer be like, hey, I want to shoot you, and a model will be like, okay, and they just do it for free because they want to get their name out there and everything. So after that first one, well, the first time you did it, was it like awkward or uncomfortable? Did you know how to like pose and like...
No, it was really, I was like looking up things on my phone before, like, what do I do? But he was really good at giving direction and stuff, and like I thought it was really cool to be creative in that aspect. But like now I'm to the point where I can like bring my own items and like projects to a set and be like, okay, like let's elaborate on it. Like I brought like bags of stuff, and I'm like, we could use this and this outfit and like this makeup and these earrings. Like I like being able to put my own touch to things, because when people like photographers, like it's okay if they're like, okay, I want this look, I want you to do this. I'm okay with that, but I'd love to just kind of make it my own in a way, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's one thing I noticed, because obviously I've never worked with a model before, or even a photographer like Paloma. Like you're very animated and you give so many different looks. Like I noticed even when Zoe was doing it, was just taking pictures on the cell phone, like, on the iPhone when we were doing the perfume. Yeah, very animated. And Paloma is so good. Like I never worked with a photographer that was shooting. Like I bet that so much of it is just the chemistry between the photographer and the model. Would you agree with that?
No, yeah, like Paloma just like gets people. Like when I first met her, like she came and hugged me and stuff, and we went for a art and wine walk in downtown Bellingham, I think about a year ago, and it was magical. Like I just clicked with her, and like when she takes pictures of people, like I feel like a lot of people get that sense with her, like I can be comfortable around this person, and she makes you laugh just naturally. Like I was like, okay, laugh, and she's like making weird noises, and I'm like actually genuinely smiling, when like in modeling it's like, okay.
Well, like when she was doing it, I guess to describe it to people, it's like if you ever had like a little kid with her family or anything that they're trying to get them to sit still for family portraits, she's like the photographer's like using toys or like, hey, look up here, like little things like that to try to like create the energy or the mood. That's kind of like, that's what Paloma's basically doing. And it's like, it's so crazy because, you know, when I met her, you know, the first time that we tried to do it, you know, she just, you know, she seems personable and talkative, but when she starts shooting, she's so extroverted and high energy. I was like, oh my God, she almost turns into like a different person, which was really crazy. Like her energy just comes out. So
popping.
Yeah. So she was great. So after the first one,
um, it built up your confidence, and then did you start to look more into like YouTube videos on how to model or how to pose, or like what was the process after that?
Well, like before, like me and my older sister Allie would watch like America's Next Top Model when we
Uh-huh.
were younger. So like I always had like a love for modeling, but
Uh-huh.
I never really thought I like fit the image and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, that's not for me. Like it'll never happen. And then that kind of grew. And then I started watching more of America's Next Top Model with my little sister Claire, and she
Mhm.
watched the all 24 seasons without me. I'm never gonna forgive her.
24?
Yeah, there's 24. I'm pretty sure.
Damn.
Maybe.
That's a lot. And she
Yeah.
watched them all without you?
Yeah, I think I'm on now like season 13 rewatching it and I'm just like
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
but I definitely try and like look at other artists, like local artists and also just like from people I know. Like I'll click on someone's profile and it'll be like a little rabbit hole where I'm just like, okay, I don't know how I ended up here, but I'm liking where I'm at and like
Uh-huh.
following a lot of other
Mhm.
creatives and stuff, even if it's just like art and stuff, because you can collaborate that with like your makeup or like backdrops and
Mhm.
stuff like that. But not necessarily YouTube. I've never been a big YouTube person,
Mhm.
sadly, unless I'm like, I don't know how to create this thing. So
Uh-huh.
then I will Google it and YouTube and
Mhm.
stuff. But
Would you say that most people like would you consider yourself I've asked you this before, but for everyone else listening, are you introverted or extroverted? Like what would you say? You've kind of
yeah.
said you're in between. You're
Yeah, I think
both, a little bit
I'm
of both.
both. I feel like I'm quite the shy person,
Uh-huh.
but then like certain people definitely bring it out of me. But
Do you
yeah,
get
we
nervous or
talked.
anxious then as a result of being an introverted maybe person that where you now all of a sudden you're on the camera and people are staring at you and you're expected to like do stuff?
Yeah,
Is
I
that
just like
anxiety
freeze
proof?
and then my like brain's like, what just happened? What were we talking about?
Uh-huh.
But once I get in the flow of things, I'm like, okay, I
Uh-huh.
can keep going.
Uh-huh.
I can do this.
And do you always have like a nervous energy going into like a new job? Like the first time you were coming to meet me, were you nervous to do any of that stuff or?
Yes, I think I have a little complex about feeling like I'm not like worthy enough of
Uh-huh.
things. So I'm like, do I really deserve this opportunity? And then like once I'm in it, I'm like, I'm kicking butt. This is awesome.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's just that fear of like not being enough.
Uh-huh.
But like through modeling, it definitely helps. And then being around people who are like, you did awesome. Like this is exactly what I was going for. Like that confirmation is just
Mm-hmm.
that's what I need if I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna like continue doing it, you know?
Does it ever get really bad where you get like really nervous or anxious about something?
Like if people aren't like responding to me, like I feel like when I'm anxious I talk a lot, so
Mm-hmm.
then I like need that feedback of being like, okay, like you're doing the posing right, or yeah, people are just like, you're good,
Mm-hmm.
okay, all right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh no, this is not what they want and they just don't want to tell me. Like I really read into things and people's like postures and their facial
Oh, really?
expressions, so I'm
Okay.
like, okay.
I wasn't even conscious of myself when you. What was my facial expressions and posture? Like I wasn't even thinking about it really.
I think you were really
Was
kind.
I
I felt
good?
very
Okay.
comfortable. I was like, for the interview, I was like, okay, here we go, and like
Uh-huh.
I brought out my book and stuff and just I felt like I gave off the nervous jitters
Uh-huh.
and I was like, I hope he's not like, oh, she just doesn't know what she's
Uh-huh.
doing. And I'm like, I do. I'm just,
Uh-huh. What's the most challenging part? Like when you're modeling in general, are you typically satisfied with the work that you do, or are there ever moments when you look at it and you're like, that could have been better? Like, do you generally feel good about the work, the pictures and the videos, or is there always a little bit of it could be better, it's not good enough? Do you have that or
I feel like I have resting bitch face and people really like that, but it's hard to show other emotions because I don't access it a lot.
uh-huh.
So that can be a little troubling because I'll look at pictures and I'll be like, I look the same in a lot of these photos, but it's
Uh-huh.
what people want and it's
Uh-huh.
what looks good. But then I've
Uh-huh.
been smiling more. I bought my own braces, I think about a year or two after high school, and like that definitely bumped it up. But not being able to smile is kind of hard when you're being a model, you
Yeah.
know. But other hard aspects I feel like are if you just don't like click with the people you're around. Like I would do collaborative like photo shoots and there's like lots of models and it's kind
Mhm.
of awkward because it's like not really a competition, but we're all like, okay, like you're
You're
working
all
with this
conscious
photographer
that you're kind of
a little like,
performing or doing
yeah.
something in front of a camera and you don't want to be the one who sucks
Yep.
type of thing. Uh-huh.
Even though we're all just kind of like having a good time, we're all just kind of nervous and like don't know how to communicate with each other. Like it's a known thing that models are like flakes, but it's really
Oh,
like we're
really?
just really anxious
Mhm.
beings, I feel
Yeah.
like.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, we're all like, "Oh, you're so pretty," but I don't want to say that to your face because I don't know how you're gonna take it.
Uh-huh.
And
Really? They would take it in the wrong way or what?
I feel like it's hard to talk to other
Hmm.
people, other models in that situation. Like we all kind of like talk to each other, and like in the summer there's like bonfires and stuff, but like a lot of the people I like had never met before, so it's like hard to approach someone and be like, hey, I've been following you for a while and I like love your stuff and I'd love to keep
Mm-hmm.
like work with you in the future, because you don't know if they're going to want to collaborate with you or for you to pay,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Like it's also that level of like people like to collaborate because if you're on the same level, but you're also doubting all the time if you're on the same level as other people, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Okay. And when you're going out and you're doing these shoots and you're getting these gigs, I guess what I want to ask is, well, let me ask you this first before I go into this question. Like, what is your personal like goal with modeling? Is it just fun for fun on the side? Is it a hobby? Is it something you'd want to be a career? Like, what is your goal and ambition with it?
You know, I would love to make it a career,
Uh-huh.
but I kind of like, I wouldn't say it's like would stop me, but like I know that like my look is more alternative and I have a lot of tattoos,
Uh-huh.
and like that's not really what a lot of people are going for when like you think of a model.
Mm-hmm.
But like I really love doing it, but yeah, I mostly have been doing it for a hobby. Like I do get paid gigs every once in a while and like I dedicate myself to them. But yeah, I have traveled before for it
Mm-hmm.
and I would love to continue doing it, and I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. But I know there is like almost an age limit for modeling. So I'm like, I'm 23. I don't know when
Uh-uh.
the need for collaborations and like paid gigs are going to stop, but I'm going to keep going
Mm-hmm.
because I think that it's fun, and you know that's
Uh-huh.
what you really want with a job, right? To have
Yeah.
fun.
Do you ever get bummed out about it? Is there ever moments where you're like, I'm not getting enough work, or does the unworthy feeling ever creep up kind of strongly, or is it?
Yeah, because I feel like in some aspects, sometimes the community can be a little toxic
Mm-hmm.
because, like, it is kind of materialistic. Like, oh, you want to work with her because she looks like this. And it's like, oh, I got to look like this if people want to book me. And that really kind of like brings that self doubt on
Mm-hmm.
you. Or when photographers like cancel. Like, I know like models cancel, but then photographers cancel and like not reaching back out. Like, if I feel like if I cancel, I will usually reach back out
Mm-hmm.
and be like, I'm so sorry that that happened. This is what happened. We should work together again.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like sometimes when photographers don't reach out that second time, like, hey, like, sorry, I canceled. Like, it's just like, you're not good enough. Like,
Yeah.
sorry, I canceled. Like, it's on
It's almost like,
purpose, you
why did
know?
you cancel? And then why did you not try to reschedule and follow back up?
Yeah. But I
Uh-huh.
also need to realize that people are human and forget. So
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to reach back out and be like, hey, we almost worked together that one time. Like, would you ever want to
Uh-huh.
reach out? But yeah, Instagram, you can get lost in the messages. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
definitely forgot like a message for like 2 weeks, and I'm like, I feel like a jerk. I haven't replied, and
Well, also, you never know who's really going to respond to DMs because a lot of people and even businesses, they don't even look at them. Like, literally just don't even check. Like, they expect you, I guess, to somehow find them on their website or something weird.
yeah.
And even like, businesses that I've worked with before in the past where I'd DM them and they wouldn't respond and because they didn't even look at their DMs and stuff like that. And so whenever I'm like sliding into people's DMs, because I've DM'd people to be on this podcast and
Sliding into DMs?
sliding into the DMs. Yeah.
Huh?
And so then what? You don't know that term? Or you do?
That's like a spicy
I
term.
know,
It's
right?
like
That's the only term.
sliding into the
Sliding into the
DMs.
DMs. Yeah. But then like they don't even see it. And so I was like, oh, but then I'm too lazy to ever. I have a thing where I don't like to pursue or chase anybody or anything. So like I always make 2 attempts and that's it at everything. And if I don't hear back from you after 2, I'm done. Whether
2 attempts,
that's it, you get 2 out of me.
not even
'Cause
3.
I'm not gonna chase. There was one guest we were gonna have on in December. I talked to her. I was like,
Mhm.
hey, do you want to be on? Let me have you on. She's like, yeah, things are really busy because it's, holidays, whatever. Hit me up in January. I'm like, okay. But, that was through email we talked
Mhm.
because I had initially DM'd her and she said, okay, email me. And I did. And then in January, she's like, I emailed her again. I'm like, hey, how was your holidays? Blah, blah, blah. All the niceties of like, how was your New Year's? And I was like, want to have you on, blah, blah, blah. And I had no response. And then tried again 2 weeks later, no response. And then I'm done. Because I'm like, I'm not just going to keep emailing and calling. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So that's what I mean. I give everyone 2 like attempts, but then it's like, how many times do I email you or call you before I'm like, this isn't going anywhere?
Mhm.
Also, kind of a waste of time because it's like you almost feel like, oh, they are reading it, they just don't want to respond. Is kind of the feeling, right? I
Definitely.
never want to get into the mode of like chasing people for things. So, So where do you say that you get the most kind of work from? Is it just from building up your Instagram, or is it from Model Mayhem, or is it some website? Like, how do you, as a model, for people listening, if there's any young ladies out there that want to get into modeling, what kind of advice or tips do you have for them?
Instagram's definitely like the starter. Taking pictures of you and your friends, and like your friends taking pictures of you, that's kind of how it started. I think it was, even though Brensley reached out to me, I think it was me and my friend Kaya were starting out taking pictures of each other, and we were posting it, and we were like, oh, this is really fun. Then people started reaching out to both of us and stuff. And then I would say building Instagram, just like asking photographers, just being like, you mostly new ones, because if you ask someone who has a lot of followers, they're gonna be like, well, these are my rates, or maybe they're willing to collaborate. Like, you don't know unless you try, you know. Some people will be like, I really like your look, actually, like, let's try it. So I would say Instagram and reaching out. Like, I definitely have that problem of reaching out because I'm like, I don't like rejection, but like, do it, try it. On Facebook, like, if you Google, or not Google, search your location and like say model and stuff, like there's the Bellingham model group, there's the Seattle model group, Portland model group, and also like runway and stuff. And I would say reaching out to local businesses once you like have built a following and stuff. Like, I'm lucky that you reached out to me, but like I've reached out to other brands, and we've collaborated, and like you get like something cool or a discount, and that's always fun.
So just kind of starting up, building up your IG, reaching out to other businesses, kind of putting yourself out there is kind of the best way. Maybe joining some of these groups on Facebook and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's kind of the best way to get started. And what are there any pitfalls or things you should watch out for, or look out for along the way, or is it?
Ooh, I would say in the beginning, bring a friend, like always. Like, I'm always like, I don't want this to be something dangerous. So I always will text a friend or my mom, like, this is my location, this is where I'm going to be. If you don't hear back from me from this time, like, you should worry. Communication. Like, if I was with a pretty prominent photographer around these parts, and like we had a falling out, and I feel like that messed up with a lot of like opportunities for me. So like, definitely communication and like being civil about things. Like, I don't think either of us were very negative towards each other, but we both like miscommunicated, and now I feel like that kind of like burned a lot of bridges for me. So like, being a civil and respectful person is definitely important.
Being easy to work with.
Yes.
Yeah.
And since I feel like modeling is a professional business, so like using professional language with people, being like, don't like use text language. I feel like that's kind of a thing. Like, do you want to take pictures of me? Being like, hey, I'd really love to collaborate with you. I love your work. I've been following you for so and so, all that jazz.
Just being professional.
Yeah.
What about traveling for work? Because obviously we're in Bellingham. I know you live. We don't say where you live, but you live close here.
Out in the county.
Out in the county. Like, if you wanted to go, like, what about like reaching out to businesses in Seattle or outside of the area? Have you ever done that?
There's Seattle meetups. I think it's on Instagram. I forgot what their user was called, but I will find it. But they have like monthly meetups on the last Saturday of the month, or maybe in the beginning. But that's a really cool way to like work with Seattle photographers. But almost like, since I am from a small town, it's kind of hard to reach out to like those big city photographers being like, want to collaborate. There is a lot that I have worked with, but definitely like, it's like there's almost that like barrier, like and also agencies. I think there's more agencies in Seattle, and that's a little harder to get into.
How do you get into an agency?
I think you have to have quite a bit of your own portfolio, so collaborating through Instagram is really cool. And then I think you go on their website, and they have usually a form you have to fill out, and like if you pass that, there's like an interview. Yeah, I haven't passed. I've only applied, I think, to 2, because I'm like, tattoos and stuff, and you have to be a certain height and stuff. You have to be really tall.
Yeah, what
to
is
be
with the
like a
height
model.
thing? I've never understood that. What is the height thing about?
I think it's to also be like the triple threat, you know, like, so you can do runway, and you can be a model, and you can do commercials and stuff.
But who was the first person or company that decided all models have to be, I don't know what the height is, 6 feet tall? Like, what is the average height that they're looking for? Do you even know?
I think it's like 5'9".
And why is that? Like, who decided? Who was the guy or the company who's like, all models this tall? Because there are petite, small models, right?
There
all
are.
Tall, huh?
That is actually a season in America's Next Top Model. They're like, okay, everyone's gonna be short.
Right.
But I think even the person who won that was like 5'7", so it's like you're right on the cusp of like what it was. So.
Yeah. How tall are you?
I'm 5'6".
Yeah.
I know. I'm like right below it, man.
But in heels, you can hit 5'7", 5'8", right?
Yeah.
So
Which
you're
is
right there.
crazy. If the minimum is like 5'9" or something, or 5'7", it's like you get on those heels and you're freaking like a
Mhm.
giant.
Yeah, it's weird because especially like if you're on TV on a runway, there's so many actors. Like Tom Cruise is supposed to be a really short, like petite guy,
He doesn't look like it.
but like on the movies, you can't tell. Like the way they shoot, like there's a lot of small actors out there, and they look tall. Like people like Lady Gaga's like 5'1",
Oh my god.
and like Ariana Grande is 5 feet tall. But when you see them, you can't really tell height very well on TV, especially how they shoot people. Like I watched the Lady Gaga documentary on Netflix, which was really good, by the way. But like you can't tell like the height. So I don't know. That's just a weird thing. Does that bother you at all that you're not tall enough?
Yeah, it's
Uh-huh.
a little deterring, and like the only reason why I've ever like not liked my
Mhm.
tattoos is because I'm like, I could have made quite a living off of modeling if I just never got tattoos, and I have about 18 right now.
Uh-huh. How old were you when you got your first one?
I was 18. Everybody there, my dad got his very first one when he was 15,
Mhm.
illegally, using his dad or his brother's ID. My brother got one and my sister got one under the table or whatever it's called. I
Uh-huh.
don't know. But like I'm pretty much the only one who's like, I'm gonna wait till I'm 18.
Mhm.
And I'm glad I did, because at 13 I was like, I want to get a dandelion tattoo, and each little fluff is gonna be a part of my family members in a
Uh-huh.
different color.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I'm really happy I didn't do that, because I would regret that so bad.
Do you have any tattoos you do regret, or do you love them all?
I love them
Uh-huh.
all because like they're like memorizing like different parts of my life,
Mhm.
Because like even though some I'm like, the artwork could have been better, like, oh, I wish I would have spent more on this, like I'm like, memories.
Mhm. And do you have any more tattoos you're planning to get soon, or do you have anything in mind?
I do.
Uh-huh.
My birthday's in March, and that flower for like March is a jonquil.
Mhm.
So I really want to go to Madeline at Ruthless. I love her. She does a lot of
Uh-huh.
my like florals and stuff, and I really want to get some of that and like
Uh-huh.
on a vase
Uh-huh.
on the back of my leg, because I don't really have many tattoos on my legs.
All
So
right. Are they just all on your arms?
all my arms, my stomach,
Uh-huh.
my back, but yeah, my arms are probably the most tatted, and
Uh-huh.
my like stomach.
When you go to get these modeling gigs, do they ever ask you to cover up your tattoos, or they just don't care? They're just like, whatever, let it flow.
I think I've only had one gig where they were like, okay, like just like pull down your sleeves to cover up your
Uh-huh.
tattoos. And I forgot where that was
Uh-huh.
or why, but I remember being like, oh, that kind of sucks.
Mhm.
Like, oh, because I know not a lot of people, or there is a lot of people who accept tattoos. That's
Mhm.
just not the aesthetic they're going for.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this question: like when you do a photo shoot for someone, or you do a collab, who owns the pictures in the video? And is
I
that something you
almost,
should ever discuss, or is it just they're free to do what they want with it? What's your thoughts on that?
I've signed forms that they're like, photographers are like, this photo is mine. I can do whatever I want with it.
Uh-huh.
But like, they can't sell it without like giving you a percentage. But I think I've only signed some of those like photo contracts like twice.
Uh-huh.
And that was because also like they wanted to submit it for magazines. So it's like, okay, I get that. I can't release the photos until a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
But
Do you typically ask for the photos from the photographer when you do a shoot, just to have them, like as your portfolio to like save them up?
usually they'll send me like a PDF file or
Uh-huh.
something of all of them, but like I've had some photographers not give me photos for like 6 months, and I'm like, I look completely different now, so it's gonna be really awkward when I post these. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, I would say that's
Uh-huh.
also like a small pet peeve, because I'm like, I get like a month, 2 months, but
Uh-huh.
like any more than that, it's like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
What are you doing? I'm just waiting here, but you know, like it's not the end of the world. I'm just kind of like, I'd like to post those.
Yeah.
They were
Paloma sent me
cool.
some already, which she told
I
me she sent
know.
you, because she sent them. I think she texted them to me. I can't, or maybe she sent them to me through Instagram. I can't remember, but I was like, oh wow, those look great. I was like, did you send them to Sammy? She's like, yeah, I texted them to her or whatever. But she was on it pretty quick because we did the photo shoot. She goes, okay, a month or
She's like,
two, and then she's already like sending me. I'm like, damn, that's quick. I haven't posted any because I'm waiting a little
mhm.
bit, but till I get them all and everything like that. So, but in terms of like the photos, when you leave a photo shoot, how do you feel afterwards usually? Do you usually just feel great and confident, or you're just
Like
like
adrenaline. Like even right
it's like a
now,
high?
I'm like shaking a little bit. I'm like, oh snap.
Uh-huh.
It's like excitement, because you're excited for the photos. You're excited that it's kind of over and you get to go home and like eat food and put on your pajamas. But Yeah, like I do like a lot of modeling outdoors too. So you're like freezing in the freezing cold and you're just like, okay, waiting for it to be over and like trying your best not to look like you're freezing cold.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, and it's also like this release. You're like, I did it.
Mm-hmm.
I did it. Like each modeling gig is like a little accomplishment for me because it shows that I can get out of my shell
Mm-hmm.
and meet new people and do these cool experiences without like shutting down. Because I have in the past, like in the beginning, I would cancel because I was like, the unworthy part would come out and being like, you're not worth it. Like
Mm-hmm.
they just reached out to you because I don't know. Like,
Uh-huh.
but yeah,
How'd you overcome that? You just forced yourself to go out the door?
you literally force yourself.
Uh-huh.
You're like, because it's also like, I hate disappointing people. I'm
Uh-huh.
like, okay, if you don't go, they're going to be really sad and they're going to feel like you wasted their time. And that's just going to add on to the unworthiness because like you provided it. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just pushing myself out it and just being like, it's okay to feel uncomfortable because that's what growth is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So if people want to follow you, by the way, I want to ask you, the Lost Moon Princess, how'd you come up with that?
I think my very first Instagram name was like Turquoise Mermaid and I had blue hair.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I really like this. I like the name and stuff, but it wasn't me. It didn't like punch with me.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a lot of Sailor Moon as a
Mm-hmm.
child and
Uh-huh.
stuff, and she is like the moon princess. So
Uh-huh.
I was like, if I could like be attached to any image in anyone's mind,
Uh-huh.
like I'd like to be like that, the Lost Moon Princess, like kind of ethereal and like magical and like otherworldly. So
Mhm.
I was like, I'm never changing it. Like even
Mhm.
if like someone hacks me or something, I'm gonna be like, give me it back. Just give me the username. You can have the
Uh-huh.
rest.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So they can follow you on The Lost Moon Princess
The Lost
on
Moon
Instagram.
Princess.
If people wanted to hire you for gigs or businesses, what's the best way to get a hold of you? Is it just to message you on Instagram, or do you have a better way or
I
another
do
way?
have the email on there. Like you can click on the Instagram thing where you can message me on email, but usually like I'm on Instagram a lot, like
Yeah.
all the time. So like I don't really miss them. Like it may take a day for me to respond because I have a full-time job and
Uh-huh.
stuff. But other than that, like yeah, reach me out there.
A full-time job and a part-time job too.
Yes, I work at a restaurant
Uh-huh.
and the tips are so nice.
Yeah, tips are nice, aren't they?
It is really
That cash in your
nice.
pocket's huge.
Heck
I waited
yeah.
tables for 2.5 years. It's a good feeling. There's some days I walk away with like $120 in tips. I'm like, yeah.
Heck
In the
yeah.
summertime, because it was a tourist town,
Mhm.
so we get busy, we get slammed. Yeah, just having that cash in the pocket.
That is the most I've ever gotten, about 120. I was like,
Oh, I know. Feels good.
it does.
Well, Sammy saved the day today. Thank you so much for coming in last moment. We're going to transition into revealing the contents of this chest. We're just going to keep it rolling. But I want to say thank you for coming in last minute.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So what we're going to do now, the treasure hunt that we're doing for the Oddity store. By the way, which I said earlier, is at 4182 Cordata Parkway. We're next to Department of Licensing. We got $1,500 worth of goodies in the chest. I know because I just added it up before Sammy got here to see. So this is going to be stashed in the woods, and we're going to start the hunt on Thursday, and we're going to be releasing clues every 48 hours, so you can try to find it. I don't think I made it too difficult, so I think you will, after a little work, you will be able to find it. Anyone who has hiked around Bellingham or is even a remotely recreational hiker should be able to identify some of this stuff fairly easy, I think.
Mhm.
So it's not ridiculously hard. Oddities PNW, which is the Instagram for our store, is where we're going to be releasing the clues. So you can follow us on there. First time we've ever talked about or shown what's in here. So by the way, so we do have a $100 gift certificate for Amazon. So we got a $100 gift card. Ruthless Tattoo, which you just spoke about.
Oh my god.
Shout out to them. This guy is dope. So he slid into my DMs. He slid right in. And he's like, hey, you got a podcast and you kind of do giveaways on podcasts. Could I donate something? And I was like, well, we're doing a treasure hunt. So donate some stuff to that. And he came by today. And I didn't know what he was going to donate or how much. He donated a $200 gift certificate for tattoo. $200 right here. So if you want a tattoo or you know anyone that loves tattoos, gave us a $200 gift certificate for tattoo. So that's pretty sweet.
Oh yeah.
Life Force Ninja Gym, which is right next door
to where we are currently at. They gave us a couple day passes to go to the gym. Check it out. We got those in there. We got some stickers as well. We got one of these. If you would hold that up, this is a Polaroid Snap Touch with a 30-pack of film, which we're throwing in there. Don't worry, we're going to put it in a plastic bag so it doesn't get wet. Just make sure. But Polaroid camera. It's brand new. We had to take it out of the box so it would fit in the chest, so it's not used. But oh, you've modeled this before.
Yeah.
Prada Black. We got one of those in there. We also got some Gucci Bloom. Gucci. Got some Gucci Bloom.
Gucci. I was
Yes.
like, what?
Yes. And we got right here, we got $600 diamond earrings. Let's pull these out. Tiny little things. They're in a nice little plastic baggie. I don't know if that comes through on camera, but they're in there. The price tag's right there too. It says $600.
Oh.
Does it say how many carats or anything?
This reminds me of the moment when Kim loses her earrings in the ocean and she's like, my earrings! Kim, you could have these.
There you go. We got $600 diamond earrings.
Oh.
Hey, Valentine's Day is coming up. When is that? That's next Friday, right?
Yep.
So you probably won't find it in time. Well, we're posting on Thursday. There's no way you're going to get it off the first clue, so sorry, but I was going to say that would be great for Valentine's Day.
Just go live in the woods.
That's right. See if you find me. I know I'm going to be out there hiking on the trails. Be like, don't look at me. Like,
Don't look at me.
People like, oh my God, that's the guy. We got some Ruthless Tattoo stickers they gave us as well. We got 90 free espresso drinks. Sammy can hold those, please. For the Oddities coffee shop. 90 espresso drinks. Any size coffee. So if you price it all at like $3, I think it was, or $3.50, I forget what I priced it, but it's like literally like $300 worth of free coffee. So if you're an espresso drinker, there's that there. Sea Witch Botanicals.
Oh,
Shout out to Kat at Sea Witch. They donated some nice, we got some soaps, got some lip balms.
smells very good.
They hooked us up for some nice smelly stuff.
White Lodge.
Saltadina Bakery downtown gave us a $10 gift card for their bakery. So you can come get that. And then, I don't know, you can let me know if you see this, if this comes through. There's like $100 and something in coins in there. Is that showing up, Danielle? Yeah? Sammy can grab it and,
There's a lot of them.
Money, dude. We got coins. Look at that.
They're so thick. Look at
Yes.
that.
$1 coins. You get all that money, and then this is a $60 chest we got off Etsy. You get to keep that. So we're going to have it locked in the woods. So when you find it, you come to the store. We have the key. We unlock it. And then we blast you out on Instagram as the winner. So yeah. And hopefully someone who's actually looking for the treasure will find it, not some random hiker, which I don't think they will, because I got where I'm going to hide it. I mean, you'd have to be, like, why would you be, it's off the trail. You'd have to be digging around in the woods. So most people probably won't be doing that. So there it is, guys. This is going to be what's in the chest, which we're doing soon. I know we've been teasing it for weeks and weeks now, but we are finally ready and set. So Sam's going to be reading some of the clues too. And you'll see me seeing more of her. So, all right, Sammy, thank you so much for coming on doing the podcast today. Appreciate it.
Thank you for
Yay! Awesome.